What's going on, people? It's time for another wrestling rant. Wrestling rant is a weekly rant I go on about the wrestling that I watched over this past week. Today, we're talking about Monday Night Raw. None of NXT because I didn't see it. Dynamite. Oh, Dynamite. And SmackDown because I was not watching Collision. So, let's get to it right away. Monday Night Raw. We got everyone's going with WrestleMania, but the show starts off. Cena comes out, and now real quick, Raw coming on during the middle of the day was super weird. It was really weird having to watch it in the afternoon. I'm like, I didn't even realize it was on until like almost an hour in. Like, oh, at least I get the bypass commercials. But watching it and then in the daytime was weird. But Cena coming out. Cena came out and man, he got booed. John Cena sucks. It was the heel turn worked, and the crowd was just letting loose. It's something about those foreign crowds, man, for WWE. Those foreign crowds are like up. They are like up the whole time. And I mean, they were just chanting and whatnot. Cena cut his heel promo, which was all the WWE fans are dumped. Then Cody came out. He said he don't want to fight this guy. He wants to fight the real John Cena, which he said exactly what he was supposed to say. So that's just leaving way for Cena's eventual face turn again when he actually retires. But let's retire the heel. I don't know. They might just keep him as a full blown heel, but I doubt it. It's just not gonna work out that way. But that was like 30 minutes. But it was an entertaining 30 minutes, and it didn't get old. It didn't get old like some things tend to do, where they just drag it on. And while that segment was good, I enjoyed it. It was one part that I liked, but I still think that, like, okay, this makes no logical sense at all. That was with Bianca, Io, and Rhea Ripley. Like, you can't take a contract, sign it, and say, hey, that I signed it, that means I'm in it. No, you can't do that. That means if contracts work that way, that means anyone can go in. I'm just gonna take this, $200 million deal. I signed it, so it's my contract now. No, it's not. No contract works that way. But that's what happened. And this is after she headbutted Bianca onto the table and then powerbombed Io onto Bianca. Now, I like Rhea Ripley. She is a megastar. Bianca, Io, I like all three of them. However, it's a goofy way to get them involved in a match. It's goofy. And I think Rhea Ripley deserves a little bit better. I think Io Sky deserves better. I think Bianca deserves a little bit better. Because I'm like, that's the reason? Like, come on. We couldn't think of something better. But we can talk about the women a little bit. I'll talk about the women on SmackDown too. But that was Raw. Next thing that happened was Braun Breaker and Finn Balor Intercontinental Championship, in which Braun Breaker retained. So that was decent enough. Raw was okay. Not terrible, not great. The beginning was the best, not gonna lie. And the rest of it was, just let's get to WrestleMania. Then we got Dynamite. Yeah, we're Dynamite. I don't know what's going on there. I just don't know. It is by far some of the worst. Not just not just booking. Well, yeah, it is booking, but also just I don't understand the appeal of it and how are they doing scheduling their matches. The main event on Dynamite was Megan Bayne versus Chris Statlander. I like Megan Bayne. I like her. She's not bad in the ring, and she definitely is a star as long as she, I haven't heard her talk yet, so I don't know about that part, but she definitely looks imposing as a female wrestler. Chris Statlander, I like Statlander. She's decent size on her, and she looks imposing as a wrestler as well. I've heard Statlander talk. Her promos need some work, but you know what? I like Chris Statlander. I don't know why that was the main event when you had the world title on the line in a match with Jon Moxley. Although he sucks as a champion, I think he's one of the worst wrestlers of all time. He still is the champion, and he wasn't the main event. So back on Dynamite again. What is happening? They got a tournament going on, and everyone's about like, I want to be the best in the world. I want to face Okada. Then they want to fight the international title. They want to fight for the one that Kenny Omega has. I'm like, what about the one that Moxley has? Like, what about that one? And it's just a hodgepodge. And that now let's actually talk about the Moxley and Copeland thing. Their street fight they had. When they had a tag match, there was no rules already. Why would you have a tag match, no rules, in a street in another street fight? You're doing the same thing over again, but this time with less people and someone who just wants to do garbage anyway. It's preferring to Moxley. In the match, Moxley got suplexed onto a spiked baseball bat. The bat was stuck in his back, and it just looked gross as they were trying to pull it out. But in the event all of this real live gross activity happening, you can visibly see Moxley tell Wheeler Yuta to do the spot where he goes out and gets powerbombed through a table by Edge. I'm like, why? Why is this happening? And then all of a sudden the other Death Riders just appeared, because after having their heads crushed with a concerto 2 weeks ago, but 2 weeks ago for Claudio and Marina, but 3 weeks ago for Pac. So after having their heads smashed in, they're back. They're fine. No big deal. No issues. They're good. So they came back. They beat up Edge for a little bit. Then FTR came out. They helped out somewhat. And then Marina came out and beat up Edge. And then Willow came out and not run in attire at all. You had on a sweater. And I like Willow Nightingale. I like her. I think she's very likable. She has such a likable personality. And she's likable when she's in the ring. But her to go run in and beat up Marina, and you had on a sweater, and it was a struggle. I can see her arm got stuck, and I'm like, oh no. What are we doing? So, all that happened. Moxley, by now he's gotten the spike bat out of his bag. It was just gross watching them try to pull it out of his back, and you can see his skin. Come on. It was just gross looking at that. And Moxley still won. He won the match. Oh, Moxley won. Moxley didn't lose, and he got Edge with his usual goofy choke. Yep, I'm calling it goofy. he still won after getting suplexed on a spiked bat. He won. And he left out there with the title again. And now, FTR looks like they're about to turn on Cope. Looks like they're about to turn on Cope. Everyone turns on Cope. Oh, I also forgot to mention that Christian's crew attacked Edge during the match as well. Attacked Cope during the match as well. After the week before, they just had it out with him. What? They had the patriarchy like they were about to fall apart last week. This week they're beating up Edge for whatever reason. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And then the other nonsense that happened with these tournament matches and whatever. The main event was Megan Bayne and again Chris Statlander. Again, I like them both. Why was that the main event? Why was that the main event when your world title was defended on that day? How was that the main event? And then, of course, Toni Storm got involved and called Megan Bayne a big heifer. She didn't call her a heifer, but she called her a big itch. But that was fine. That was fine and all. But, I mean, Megan Bayne's been there, her sixth match or something? She's getting a title shot already? Okay. I mean, it's fine. But that's your main event? Last week, the main events had pockets in it. And he main evented... I don't know what's going on with that. Are you trying to get people in? Do you want people to watch the program, or do you want people to run away? I watch because I'm a bit of a masochist, and I do love wrestling. Yeah. And I got into a little discussion on TikTok about it. It's like, no, I'm gonna judge it. I'll judge it all I want, and that's my opinion. If I think it's garbage, I'm going to say it's garbage. And if I think the stuff that Moxie doing is just pure, utter garbage, it's pure, utter garbage to me. And that's what it is. And I think a good majority of people actually agree with that. That's why they don't watch it. Well, we're on SmackDown now, where I can say SmackDown had some points where I was like, yep, up for this. Then it had some points where I was like, ooh, this is cringy bad. And talking about cringy bad, then I gotta say that Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton thing, not good. Not good at all. But I can say this about the women. I like heel Naomi. Hey, I like heel Naomi. Don't come over there with the colorful hair. No, she had some black hair, curly hair, and she beat up Jade, and it was great. I'm like, she got some revenge. I mean, the point that come on, what do you expect? But she cost Jade her match against Liv, and then proceeded to beat her up at the end. Pushed her on the table like, yep, I gave you a push. I'm gonna push you again. I get it. I get it. I see the direction. I don't think it's a WrestleMania match, but it probably end up being one. Same as another match too that I think, this is gonna be a WrestleMania match too. They building up, look like Jacob and Solo finally having their go at it, because Solo cost Jacob his match. So we'll see where that goes. And I'm a fan. 5-2. That's a highlight for me. Street Profits, again, I'm glad they're the champs. They had their little ceremony and everything. I'm glad the Street Profits won. And Montez is a beast. Montez Ford is an absolute beast, and so is Dawkins. I'm glad they got to cut their promos and they're talking more on the mic, and they're getting a little bit of shine. I'm glad about that for the Street Profits. Then Main event, I mean, everybody gearing for WrestleMania. It was a hodgepodge tag match with LA Knight and Jimmy Uso versus Shinsuke and whoever his partner was. I forget. That's what I forget. I know somebody that they're dealing with. Drew McIntyre. That's right, Drew McIntyre. And I like Drew McIntyre. I really like Drew. It was Priest. No, who was it? It was Priest and... Was it Priest and... What's his face? Well, whatever. But... I say, again, I like Drew, and I like what he's doing with Priest. I'm hoping he's able to bring out, that it quality in Damian Priest, because he ain't quite there yet to me. He's not quite there now, and I'm willing to give Priest, give him, to see, like, hey, does he have that really, like, superstar quality or what have you? But I think Drew McIntyre's gonna pull it out of him, and they're gonna have their match at WrestleMania. I was hoping Jimmy was gonna get his, for some reason they have a way for him to get the U.S. title, and then he ended up winning that, and then Jay wins the world title, and the two brothers as champions at WrestleMania. That'd be a good feel-good moment. That'd be a real good feel-good moment. I'm just throwing that one out there. I don't think it's gonna happen, because I just don't think that's where they're gonna go. But it would be dope if they did. However, we got Seth Rollins, OTC, CM Punk, all in the ring. And they all come out, everybody had an interest. OTC comes out first, says, anybody want to confront the tribal chief? I'm going to be here for the next 15, 20 minutes. Who comes out? Seth Rollins. Who comes out? CM Punk. And CM Punk calls the chief, calls Rollins Grimace, and they get into a big brouhaha. Everybody's pointing at WrestleMania, so they're gonna have them a triple threat match at WrestleMania too. So we got 2 triple threat matches at WrestleMania. Now the question is, where does that match fall? Is that match gonna be the main event of night 1? Or is it going to be like before main event of night 2? Is that going to be before Cena and Cody? I doubt it. I think Roman's going to be on night 1 this year. We'll see. But that was my wrestling rant for this week. What did you like? What didn't you like? Again, Moxley stuff, utter garbage. I stand by it. I stand on it. I will stand 10 toes down on that. Wrestling all in all for me, I give it a C. The C because Raw, the Cena part started off high, then it just drug after that. So I give that a B minus. Dynamite, D, all the way. And then SmackDown, C. So let me know what y'all think. Peace.